and welcome to Show Up with Excellence. I am Dr. Josiah with Fire. So today is a continuation or two. Last week we talked about getting off to a good start. I hope you did. If you didn't, let this week be that week. We're going to still talk about, it's titled Off to a Great Start. Look at that. We went from good to great. Oh, must be excellent next week. Anyway, so let me start here again. Show up. Do that. Yeah, show up with excellence. So I am gonna dive in this today. It was just the whole New Year thing. I was so excited. Still excited. And yeah, I'm still excited. So again, this podcast, if you haven't been here before, by the way, so all last year, I did call it Come Get These Kids, and it's still under that name. We're still working on projects with that. But I'm calling it Show Up with Excellence. And again, that title may change for a podcast. Anyway, we are here to educate and encourage, to motivate educators or anyone in educational leadership or who has been there. We have some retired people who are going back, and these classrooms need some wisdom. But anyway, to help encourage you as you make it through your year. And of course, always say in a humorous way. Have to be in a humorous way. Have to. So anyway, that's what we're all about. So if you've never been here, come watch the other videos. That's right. So what we are talking about today, starting the year off. That's what we talked. So I'm just going to recap. Last week we talked about starting the year off, being intentional about starting your year great, despite all of the negatives. We all have things in our lives that happen, things we like, don't like, and just be intentional. And it's not being fake, because some people think, have to be fake. No, just be intentional. Find that good and move with it. Find the good and move with it. I'll just say it that way. So anyway, last week we talked about getting off to a good start. We're getting off to a good start. This week we're talking about off to a great start. Look at that. So we're just talking about how you can, if you need to rekindle the fire, do that. And that could be in any area in your life. But since we're talking to educators, a lot has happened going on now with education, and the whole system has crumbled, and others are rebuilding, restructuring. It needs to be. It reminds me of, I'll say this. It reminds me of years ago when I was growing up in education, and in history class, we refer to indigenous people as Indian, and that's no disrespect to anyone, but in the books it said Indian. How now? Ooh, I love their term. I love First Nations people. I call First Nations, but there are a few that they are called indigenous people, but First Nations too, because they are First Nations people. So anyway, that's the change. And I do believe we're in that time, season, era, not only of technology, but to change the school system. And so, because when things fall apart, or things come apart, things get taken down, it's time to rebuild. So we are rebuilding the educational system. We're rebuilding how we see education, how we teach education, how even in this age of technology, which is the competition of how do we keep moving forward when, we can go to our computers now and Google information or go to chat GPT and say, rearrange this for me. And it does. And, that's the competition. How do you get children, middle school, high school, college students to go in a direction with that competition? And I will say we have time to change a lot of that. We have time to change a lot of that. Some of that, though, is purposeful in the sense of where we are going. Where the world's going. Sometimes we say our world's crumbling down, but it's actually going the right direction of other things. We'll test another whole conversation. Go to a word and prayer. I might I am doing that on my, so look for that. Another whole conversation there. But here's what I do want to say in education. There's some areas that are being changed. People are challenged at. Um, People are being challenged. And the biggest challenge, though, is some who are educators wanting to know, are they going to still be at their schools? Are they going to continue? Because a lot of decisions are being made now. And however those decisions, some of those decisions are, some of them know, some people know. Some people know whether their school is shutting down by June, that this will be, so for them, it may be, show up for what? My attitude is, I don't, I don't like this. I don't know where I'm going to be. So my attitude when I go in is going to be, who cares? Anyway, so show up intentionally and do what you can. Put your best foot forward. And, kind of reminds me, though, of what a lot of mothers, my mother would say, and other mothers I know like her. I don't care how you feel. You're going to show up. So show up with excellence. And, because, honestly, you can have a pain, feel sick. Well, certainly don't feel sick now. Don't be getting all over that, over all of us, if we're there. But what I was going to with, if you have a pain, whether it's something, you hurt yourself physically, or you might even have pain mentally, may have been through what some of us have been through, maybe, a few weeks ago, family member died, or a loved one, someone, and you feel sad, but well, some people may have stopped, but dude, don't stop. Keep going, do what you can, even if you're going slow. And that's interesting, because even when people say not keep going is what I want to say, having a good start is what I want to say. Interestingly, what I wanted to say was I did not say start fast, start slow. I just said have a good start. So there you go. Anyway, let's move on. By the way, last week I did talk about off to a good start and what it meant. And of course, I just summed it up with, it means begin an activity successfully, or to get a good habit, or to get off with a good start, or in a good start. Get off to a good start. Let me go there. Just means start well. So start well. Even if last week didn't go well, okay, today start again. And today we're going to probably move a little faster today, because the points I have, so I didn't want to make it long last time. That's what it was. So I don't really have that many points, but I am going to review quickly the points of last time. And I'm going to talk, it's really 2 points this time. So, oh my goodness, just think we'd probably get off earlier. Kind of reminds me, sometimes you're sitting in a meeting, you're like, is this going to end early? Those meetings. And anyway, last week I gave 3 points. One of them was saying goodbye to last year. So hopefully if you didn't do that, hopefully you did this week. Say goodbye. And what I really want to say to that is, we all have challenges, still have challenges. And, so specifically with school, challenges with students you're teaching, challenges with colleagues, challenges with, if you're the administrator and your staff who don't want to listen to you, don't follow you, superintendents who have principals who don't want to listen to you and follow you. Maybe you're new to the district. Maybe you've been there for years and people are like, shouldn't you go now? All of those issues and challenges. But anyway, you keep going. Then you have that big challenge everybody's thinking about. People who've been there for, 40, 50 years, and they don't want, I'm the rock that stands. Rocks crumble, let me tell you. Anyway, they do. You can break rocks. Like that. I had to laugh at that one. You can't. It becomes a diamond under there. That makes me laugh too. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny to me, because I think I only said that because during Christmas I was with friends, and the funny thing was we were talking about charcoal, and you keep pressing it becomes a diamond. So that's a good thing. So maybe you're that rock, you can become a diamond this year. Become a diamond, and you can be swept away. There you go. So recapping, point number 2, be thankful, be grateful. Be grateful and thankful that you, one, can set the atmosphere. So be thankful where you are. It's so amazing that people can, and I've been in several schools, and both as an educator and then as just visiting. And it's amazing. It's amazing. People in schools always complaining, always complain. I'm thinking, I often say, why are you there? Why are you there? Why are you there? But anyway, be thankful. Be thankful. Some people are like, be thankful right now, especially with all the many companies that laid off people. Be thankful. So anyway, the point number 2, be thankful and set the atmosphere. So you can set the atmosphere by the grace that's upon you. And, again, being thankful doesn't just mean saying it. It means showing up. It means having a smile, your body language. Because, by the way, one thing I didn't say last time was children they know adults' body language. Sometimes I want to say they can read our minds. And, but they know body language. A child knows when you don't like them. A child knows when you like them. And I tell people, you can be a mile away and see them, and you're walking towards each other, and they can tell you don't like me. I just want that I want to just pause right there because they see that. And we often say that phrase, our children are failing, but I like to say we fail them. We fail them by what we don't encourage them in. And when I say we, this is in a general sense. So I know state by state, so many schools. I'm not going to go with all of that, but I'm making a general statement that we fail them when we show up and we say negative things to them. Now, negative things can still be, I need you to do your homework, or I need you to write because you don't want to be like, and we say that to some of the other children, we don't want you to be like what we see some adults where they gave up on life and they sat out. And so we often say they're failing, but are they failing because they want to, or are they failing because we're not encouraging them? Mm-hmm. So anyway, show up with a good attitude. It sets the atmosphere. And even if you are mad, then you can put on your fake face. I don't know that. Put on your fake face and keep moving forward. So point number 3. It's really about speaking up. I wrote talk up, speak up, but it really is about being your best in this next level, being your best at this next level. And what that means. Even as we're rebuilding, reshaping, restructuring, all the re's stand up. It's about being your best, So as we began this year, off to a good start, great start. And again, we're saying that chaos is going to happen. Good and bad. We live in that world. Good and bad is going to happen. It's what you do. And again, like the phrase says, when you're given lemons, make lemonade. Mm-hmm. Y'all want some lemonade? So that's the recap of last week. Today, we only have 2 points. I'll tell you, it's going to be a short one, unless I start talking off on a limb. So really, point number 1 is leadership is visible. Absolutely. And interestingly, we're all, well, let me back up because if I say we're all leaders, my word. Some people think they're leaders. So anyway, I tell you, leadership. Anyway, here's what I wanted to say. As a leader, show up. As a follower, show up. So it's just not leaders, both. I'm a leader and a follower. And I believe when you're both, you do well, because I want to say sometimes people will just sit in a leader's position and they don't hear from their followers. They don't have followers. And they don't, well, there's that phrase, you're walking and you're by yourself. You don't have anybody. But anyway, it's amazing. So anyway, I say, going back to leadership. So leadership is being visible. and again, following as well. But the key really is about leaders, because at this place we're in, we see good and bad leaders, and we're again, children are always watching. They are always listening, and they're always listening and watching, and so they're looking. And now they don't look and watch and say, although wait, some do know. They know the difference. They know that's a leader, that's a boss. Some children know that, and whether they've been told that or they can sense that. And the key here, though, is leadership, being a leader, or if you are a leader. And again, I didn't want to just leave followers out of this, but it really is geared to leaders. Be visible, show up, and then show up with a great attitude. Again, your presence sets the stage, sets that room on fire. However, so it can be good. Well, because we see fire and we don't want to run out. But it can be good fire where people are like, yes, that energy of that fire, the energy, the passion, and your room can be filled with, you can walk in and get your followers to do what you want them to do because you walked in with presence. And so as a leader, know which kind of leader. Now you don't have to be the leader that will, of course, I'm going to say be a bad leader. But again, what kind of leader are you? Because people are watching, your staff is watching. Again, superintendents are watching their principals. And so everyone's watching everyone. Everyone's watching everyone. Just kind of makes me laugh though. Everyone's watching everyone. And what kind of leader are you? So, I do want to bring this up because as I was writing this thought came, and it was not too long ago that we started hearing it. Probably was after 2020 when we started hearing the phrase boss, boss lady, baby boss, be the boss. And we were running with that. And yeah, it sounded cute. For some areas and places, it was cute. I mean, I think when I first started hearing, boss lady, I mean, we get it. Nothing, it's nothing wrong with that. But what I want to say to that is, some people run around saying I'm the boss when you're not a great boss. If anything, you're going to be a boss or be the boss. Yeah, great. So two things: have an attitude, but again, because you can still have an attitude and be a great boss. And what I mean by that is, I've had quite a few bosses who were still stern, had a great attitude, but again, knew how to talk to people, how to communicate. I think that's the piece. So that's where I'm going with this. So whether you're boss lady or, baby boss, or the funny thing, I had to ask them, I was like, did we ever say boss man or boss? I don't even remember that. And they were saying the same thing. Like, I don't remember hearing that either. So maybe you're a boss man. I don't know. Anyway, I know I did hear boss lady and baby boss a lot. So, and the boss, maybe, that's it. You men were just the boss. So the point I'm really making here is, even in that position, have a great attitude, set the tone, set the atmosphere. Oh, wow. See, now y'all making me say something else. Since I brought up men as the boss, be the boss. Oh my, time to I just love all the men who are sharing to other men how to be men, how to be fathers. Let me say that. Because we need that. We need that like yesterday. But since I brought it up, I just had to get on. Let me say that. Going back to leadership. Men, take your place as leaders. Absolutely do that. Do that. So being a leader, I feel like I can't get off this now. So be prepared, be presentable, be consistent and accountable, all of that, and show up. Now that's for both men and women. I tell you, I think because I brought that in the conversation to this conversation, I had to pause. Be prepared as leaders when we walk in. And again, there are times we're not prepared, but be prepared. Always have something to say or to give. If anything, smile. I always tell people, if you forgot what you're going to say, smile. And that goes a long ways. And it's not a fake, yeah, smile. That kind of smile. Be presentable. Be presentable. Consistency. Be consistent about who you are. Now, oh my, that's another conversation, but so let's just stay with this one. Being a leader, stay in the position of being a consistent leader. And what that means is what you share with, whom you share with, the group you're with, whatever group you're over. So whether you're well, we're talking mainly for schools, so let's just stay there. Stay there because I do want to mention, well, I'll just say this. If you're in corporate and or faith-based, be consistent as the leader, as the boss or boss lady. Those baby bosses, my word. Oh, yeah. I don't even know. They need the boss lady and the boss. So, accountability, absolutely. So when you walk into your meetings, staff meetings, school board meetings, be accountable and then be held accountable. Then, show up with excellence. Show up with, again, yeah, comes to me, say, show up with attitudes. Yeah, do that, but good attitude. So anyway, because you have skills that can help others move forward. They have skills as well. So you come together with that. Also, along with this, I think the key really is, as I'm ending up with this point, be secure on who you are. Have a team of people that you can check in with. Again, that's that accountability piece. And, others. So when your staff and or colleagues see you, they'll feel safe and feel that you're trustworthy of your performance. And I'll say this because sometimes when I've been in places, schools where people say, well, that principal, they don't know what they're doing. They're off. They're this or that. And I just always say, okay, so what are you doing? What are you doing to encourage them or help them? So anyway, leadership. Let's go there. I tell you, sometimes it's amazing. You write something and then everything else comes to mind. I try to stay this dry. I try to stay on what I wanted to say. Anyway, point number 2, I'm telling you, we're almost done. Point number 2, plan and show up. So plan to show up. Oh, yeah, that too. But it was about planning and then showing up. Plan to show up. I like that. Third one. So as I've been talking about all of this, again, I started off and have been, again, maybe doing this for the next couple of weeks. Show up with excellence. We have heard our president say, make America great again. And, it always has been. With all of the mix, the melting pot here has made it great. So anyway, it's not about making that. But what I do want to say, because it came up to make our schools great again, which is, again, melting pot. And I believe we've already started that by saying First Nations people, exploring African American history, exploring all of American history, exploring all of American history, exploring all of American history. And yeah, that's how we make our schools great again. It takes all of us to help everyone in the melting pot, sharing their family history, their knowledge, all of that together. And so, because growing up, a lot of history was missed and or misrepresented and not said correctly. So restructuring, rebuilding. Yeah, restructuring, rebuilding. Sharing what we can share now moving forward. Even in this age of technology, look at that. But again, plan and then show up with your great self, great smile. Have a game plan. Have a game plan. I believe I talked about that at the end of the year. Putting your game plan, setting your game, putting your game plan together. But show up. Have meetings that are purposeful. Now, again, there have been meetings I've been to. Not that they weren't purposeful, but the sad part is I would walk away from those meetings and everybody wanted to complain. And it really just sort of made the whole meeting not worth being there. But it's what you do, what you put out, how you see it, the suggestions you give. Have clear expectations. So from leadership, talking about leaders being visible, to then planning and showing up. Have clear expectations. I everywhere I go, someone says, show up on time or show up. And, now we have become, and I guess I'll say it this way, because there are times when we don't show up on time because of other circumstances or situations. But the key is showing up so that you're there. I always just say, once you show up, like something like they, I remember growing up and they say, well, I showed up, the party can start now. So I don't know, maybe you're that person. Maybe your school needs that person. But anyway, the key is showing up. So anyway, those were the points from last week. So if you're just joining in right now, again, we're really ending up early because it was a continuation of last week. And that is last week we talked about getting off to a good start to now get off to a great start, or off to a great start. So I hope even those tips help you today. The newest tips today are about leadership, being visible, and then planning and showing up. Those are the two newest tips. But I do want to say, as I ending up, can you believe that? Wow. Ending up with just a few pointers. And well, let's see. Maybe I should recap first. I don't know. Let me end up with these points, and then I'll recap for those who will come in a few minutes. Anyway. Oh, yeah. So I was thinking, because as we start this year, even if it wasn't a great year, I always say begin again. Always begin again. I do want to say, though, because this was a point. This is a main point for me. We're human. We make mistakes. Things don't happen the way we assume or want them to. And we can begin that road or down the road of making it happen. And we're doing that, making it happen. And but I say we're human, not humanoids. Anyway, by the way, we're not AI. And I guess what? AO is bigger than AI. I had to come on and say that one. AO is bigger than AI. AO is bigger than AI. Gotta find that. Gotta find out what that's all about. So anyway, leaders show up. Followers show up too. So leaders, those who sit in that space of superintendent, principals, school board members. Followers, those who still sit in that same space, as well as teachers, parents, children. And the key is just show up, and show up. Wow. Yeah, show up. So as we are ending up wrapping this up, I'll recap, but a few more things I want to say, and that is to have a great, smooth year, still make it happen. And when things don't go right, step up, step out, and show out. Show up and be intentional. Leaderships or leaders, come with their plan. And a lot of times, many leaders come with what they feel is a good plan. It's a good plan, and then sadly walk away from meetings, and people are like, "What?" But just show up, show up intentionally, and have a great year. Have a great year. So recapping. So if you are just showing up, because by the way, we all have choices. We can make choices, but take the initiative to do better. Someone coined, when we know better, we do better. Mm-hmm. So recap for today. We're gonna let you go. Point number one, and this is a recap really from both last week and this week, saying goodbye to last year. Goodbye. Be thankful. Sets the atmosphere, which is, sometimes being thankful just means your demeanor, your smile, your attitude, how you walk in a room. Point number three is speak up, be the next level. Talk about how to rebuild, how to restructure, be in that process, making it happen, making the best happen, and how you can make the best. Lots. And the interesting part is it's already happening. So many of you are already in those places and spaces and doing that. Many of you are. So the goal here is for those who are not, or those who are seeing structures fall in their states or places, cities, and are feeling overwhelmed, fearful, not sure what's going to happen. How will children get to school? How will they be educated? All of those concerns. Yeah, be part of that process. Be a part of the planning and how to restructure that and get your voices heard. Do that. So really the 2 points we had today was leadership is visible. Be visible as leaders and our followers as well. Show up too. And then the last one, plan. Show up. I've been talking about this. We'll continue talking about it. Show up with excellence. And that's all we have today. So that's all we have. Look at that. Well, yeah, and I didn't go off on a limb a lot today. That was the goal. Anyway, who knows? Anyway, just so happy that you joined again. By the way, go to our website. It's scrolling across the page. Visit us, share the link, and like and share. And, just encourage someone else to put their best foot forward, make it a great beginning. And again, if you fall, get up and keep going. Start again. So that's all I have for you today. I'm so glad you were with me. Yay! I'm always glad and excited for you. Again, check our check our website and our email. If you want to email, it's all scrolling across there. But that information again is info@josiahjackson.com if you want to email us. But again, as I say, thank you for joining. Have a great rest of the day. It's Josiah with fire.